Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for those of you that have came out tonight to this team building call. This is the first team building call. I was just explaining that before the recording began. And tonight we got a lot of information to go through. We will be moving fast, so you will be getting a playback of this video. If there's any issues, there could be some issues of people not being able to hear, see, or get on. And we do apologize for that, but this is our first one. This first time we've ever done a webinar with this platform. There could be bugs to work out. But what I was saying earlier is, you can't let possibility of error mesh prevent you from doing anything. And keep that in mind as you move forward yourself, that, sometimes fear or the unknown can prevent you from doing something that you really know you should in your business. But this is the first video, so we're going to start off basically with explaining what this series is about and kind of giving you an idea of what all you will be learning on the video. So if there's any kind of audio mishaps, I apologize for that as well, but just because sometimes it can lag. That's the way the internet works. Just bear with us and keep in mind these things will get better, but you'll definitely be able to get the gist of the information. And that is what we're going to be going through tonight and explaining what this webinar is all about. It's about building your team. It's about duplication. There's going to turn out to be one of these every Tuesday night for probably a long time until we have basically covered every possible thing there is. What are you going to learn, though? That's a good question. What will you learn by attending these or watching the recordings? What you're going to learn is how to build a business with My Daily Choice and or HempWorks. There are people on this team from other countries. The UK, there was a man from Africa today that joined. There was, some people in the UK last week joined. So it's spreading across the world. And some of these countries do not carry HempWorks. I believe, corporate's working on getting it there, but either way, we're going to show you how to build either HempWorks or My Daily Choice, whichever one that you're focused on, or both. And we're going to show all kinds of ways to do it, such as working your warm and cold market, how to use social media. There will be webinars based around that. We're going to go over online lead generation. The skills you'll learn on these calls, you can carry with you for well throughout your life. Just put it that way. There's going to be a lot of value in these. We're going to go over some sponsoring skills, teach you how to prospect and sponsor people, paid advertising if you choose to go that route. And we're going to teach content creation. That's one of my favorite things to do. Plus, there's going to be a lot more on anything you could possibly imagine that you could build a business with. We will cover it, teach you how to do it. So if you decide that's the path you want to go, there will be a video to help you go that path and become better at that strategy. But tonight, we're just going through some basics, okay? Since on the first video, I decided that it would be best to go over what to do when you first get into My Daily Choice and HempWorks. So that's going to be tonight. If you haven't sponsored anybody or you're brand new, this is where you want to begin. This is how you're going to start. You got to start prospecting right off the bat, immediately. Now, my little picture there has a presentation. It looks like, the old school marketing. You don't have to do presentations. I don't mind doing them. And I tell you, if you had somebody in your team that does them, you won't mind either, because they're really powerful. And if you do choose to go that path, we fully support you and wish you the best. Most people will not want to do that. So whenever you do have someone who can do presentations, they build gigantic organizations, right? But you got to be prospecting. Everybody has to do that, okay? The idea, if you really, really want to get some results, you want to begin by asking people with problems the product helps. That's the key. That's the secret. That's the magic to getting sales. When your product solves a problem that someone has, your product sells to that person with the problem. So if you focus on the problem that a person has, that our products, of course, would solve the problem, you're going to increase your sales. Don't make the mistake of just, I mean, of course, you want to tell everybody about the business, but a lot of people will go out and start wasting time with people that would have no shot whatsoever telling them everything about it. We want to teach our team how to market like pros, how to be a network marketing professional, and not like what most network marketers do. So if you can find somebody with pain relief, and that's my favorite, pain relief has been very successful for me because people with pain will pay any price to get rid of it. And keep that in mind. Pain is horrible. It's a problem that no one wants to deal with. And I have been making sales and signing up people through just asking people I meet, do you know anyone that suffers from some, has to deal with pain on a regular basis? Everybody knows somebody. Everybody knows somebody. So the idea is find out who that person is and get a product to them to try. If they actually try the product and they get a result, you almost always have at least one sale, possibly a customer for life. But we also have products that will help with sleeping. Like if you're in another country and you can't get the CBD oil for the pain relief, you can, we got sleep spray. And I'm just going through some examples here. If you know somebody needs help sleeping, I'll let them try the sleep spray. A person with seizures, if you're part of HempWorks, the CBD oil has been found to do wonderful things with people who have a lot of seizures. It cuts them back a lot, big time. So people with seizures take CBD a lot. Pets health. If you know people who are big into animals, I just brought in a veterinarian last week, and the results he had learned at a vet seminar got him interested in joining. So he's looking at, people because he sees people who will pay any price to help their pet. And so he's joined. Energy. We got the Boost spray. If you're pushing My Daily Choice. Weight loss, the Trim 365. It's a really, really powerful product. It'll make people not want to eat. It'll curb that appetite. So look for that. Or if somebody's got a vacation that's coming up soon, we have a cashback travel. You look for these things and you'll be surprised how you sell. Don't approach it as in just going to somebody and assuming that they're taking a vacation. Find out, ask around. Stress, anxiety, there's some more examples. And of course, more income or extra money, there's always that aspect, not just product aspect, but opportunity aspect. And the opportunity sells very good. People love opportunity. They love making money. And if they see something that they believe that they can sell, and that's a strong point, if they believe that they can sell it and make some money or succeed with it, they are more likely to join and attempt or work the business. And that's where you start creating your duplication. But you got to approach it in a professional way. Look for people who need who have the problem, provide the solution. That's your first thing to learn. Okay. Now, when you do meet people, either be through pain relief, whatever the problem is, you always want to send your prospects and a customer or affiliate to a landing page, which I'm about to show you some examples of which pages you want to send people to. And there's a big reason for that. Here are two generic pages. You've got the Premier Abundance there on the left, which is the lady on the laptop. That page has signed me up a lot of affiliates. Now, it mentions nothing about the company. It has no mention about products. It is selling the opportunity. And as you see, what are the 3 things you need to succeed in a home-based business? It gets a lot of opt-ins and a lot of phone numbers. Over on the right is the HempWorks BizOp page. Now, you would not want to send somebody to that page unless they already know it's an opportunity dealing with CBD. See, the less a person knows, the less you want to give them. If they know it's CBD or they heard about it and they're like, hey, I'm interested in learning more about that CBD business you have or that hemp oil business, then you would send them that little, the cash in on the hemp products. I think it's the HempWorks BizOp landing page. Everyone has these in their back office, and you want to use these because, like, if you're on Facebook and you're putting up a post about somebody who got a big result from pain relief, like someone with X pain, if you know anybody with this same pain, I've got information on how to help. Well, you'll have a lot of people reaching out to you. The big mistake most people do is they go out there and they talk about how great it is, the name of the company, when they started, what all's in it, how theirs is the best. And it looks kind of spammy. It looks like, oh, brother, here we go again. Somebody that thinks everybody wants to join them, when the concept is to create curiosity, not resistance. And remember that, create curiosity. Make them curious. A curious person will fill out that form and opt in to our success line, and then the system will finish and do the work, okay? Here's some more examples you can use. These are 2 generic, completely generic. If you are promoting the business opportunity, you can use these as well. They work very well, and it's another example of the pages you want to be putting online. When you're promoting, use these 4 pages. Here's what I do not want to use. Here is our cashback travel page. Now, it looks good. Don't get me wrong. It's a beautiful thing. But if you're posting that, think of this. If you were posting that particular page, when a person looks at it, they see it. Let's say they see on Facebook, okay? You do a Facebook post and you say, I'm in a business now. We're making lots of money. We've got great products, et cetera, et cetera. Click here to learn more. That's a bad post, but you get my point. And if somebody was to click that and they see this, what's the first thing they think? They see it and they say, oh, it's a travel business. They'll probably assume the whole thing is a travel business. And since they don't really know anything about travel and they're not interested in traveling or they don't travel themselves, they don't even bother filling it out. The only reason you would use this is if someone asked you, hey, can you send me information on how to get that travel app? If they ask that and it's a one-on-one thing, they say, hey, can you send me something so I can get that travel app? Then you would send them this. Other than that, they don't need to know. All they need to know is fill out the form, get in the success line. That's what you want to promote. They will learn more as it goes. And the less they know, the more the curiosity is, and the higher the odds are that they look. And that's the idea. You want to create a lot of opt-ins into the success line. It's so easy. Just point people to a video and keep it generic. Don't give away too much information. And they'll fill it out. They'll learn. And if they're not interested, they will opt out. But most of them will not. And I have seen people signing up from back to 4 months ago that opted in 4 months ago and are getting signed up. It happens quite often. They haven't even gotten an email from the system in forever. So you want to fill that success line. That is the trick. So why an opt-in generic page? Well, I may have already explained it pretty good, but it puts them in the success line, and that's the key. You want them in the success line so they get updated every day. Think of it like this. When you prospect an individual, if they don't sign up on the first exposure, which a lot don't, how many times would you be able to follow up with them and continue to talk to more people? Most likely you're not going to follow up again, maybe twice at the most. If they were to opt into the success line, they get followed up with every single day. When people join, they know about it. When people join, they're offered to get in and can, it brings them benefits to joining. And that's why when you see one person join, usually, if you've got a lot of people in the success line, 2, 3, 4, I mean, I've seen it up to 8 people in a day join on that last day. But had they not been in the success line, that would have never, ever happened because they would have never been aware. So that's why you want to put them in the success line. The system works without a doubt. Adding more and more people to it will increase your sign-up rates for both customers and affiliates. I have had people come in as looking at it as a business opportunity, and they just like the product and they continue to purchase it. And that's great. We want people who just love the product. That's great for business because they're going to order regardless of what business is like. They're always going to have the product. So you want to increase the opt-in, the success line with generic pages. Now, we all share many of the same people we put in a success line. This is going to be kind of hard to explain without a picture here, but if let's say I bring in 10 people one day into the success line, and you bring in one person, your friend, and Mary down the street brings in 5 people on that same line, and one of Mary's people decide to join, that one person that you had opt in and those 10 people I had and the other 4 of Mary's all get the email about that person signing up. So not only does Mary increase the odds of getting another one, she has increased the odds for everyone who has contributed to that success line. And the bigger this thing gets, the more you're going to see that. So you want to just flood that thing with opt-ins, and you will succeed if you just get opt-ins. Getting people to fill out that form, watch a video. That's all you got to do. Think of it, make it as simple as possible. Don't think I need to know what's in the products and all this. I mean, sure, you can learn that, and it may help in some cases. But if you want to build a business, you get a lot of people opting in, and you get signups by default. All right. Prospects get followed up with daily. I explained that earlier, which saves you a lot of time, and it just makes things easier. Okay. They get followed up with daily. Some of them will never join. No big deal. Most of them, I mean, there's going to be more that don't than do, but you can get your numbers up there depending on what types of opt-ins, the method that you use to get them in, things like that will increase how many you get. It may take some people 1 in 10. It may take some people 1 in 20, some 1 in 50, some 1 in 100. But usually if it takes 1 in 100, those 100 were really easy to get in the line. The 10 would be hard, or a different method that works better, takes fewer leads, but, is slower. So it doesn't matter. And we're going to teach you all those methods to do that so you can put in as many as possible according to your time. So one thing, though, guys, and this is important. Here's another thing to know when you first get started. You got to start prospecting immediately. Yes, and send them to the generic pages. And I explained that. Hopefully that you understand that. And if you've been in it for a while and you've been sending them to the wrong pages, that's fine. You can change, start using the generic ones. Our team is getting big enough now to where I'm going to start doing these because I want to see everybody have better results. But if you really, really, really want to get some good results, you want to use the source code on every single link you publish online. And there's a reason for that, and I'll show you how to do it. If you go to hopefully you got pen and paper, okay? This is a webinar. It's a training webinar. If not, you can go back and watch the recording and get all this. But write this down for sure right now. And that is under the advertising tab on the left menu. If you're on the iPhone, it's on the right. But the menu. Got all those pages. My Daily Choice is the biggest network marketing website and options. I mean, they are built for marketing. The only one I've ever seen do this. But anyway, go to the advertising tab. and it explains exactly how to do it. It will show you how to add a source code. And real quick, I'm showing you an example. What you do is whatever link you put out, you add question mark, and then in all caps, the word source equals whatever your source code you want it to be. Source code is to let you know where that lead came from. When you're like me and you start putting the link out everywhere through paid advertising, through content, through inviting people in person, to you name it, social media, articles on other websites, videos, I mean, you name it, I'm doing it. Craigslist ads, social media ads. All right, I'm getting leads every day. Every single day, it never fails. People come into the success line. So I need to know when they leave a phone number and I go to call them, I would like to know how they found it, because how they found it kind of plays a part of what I'm going to say. So when I open up a tab and it says Mary from down the road and it says Facebook ad, then I know where she came from. Or if it says blog post, hey, she was on my website. Or if it says, you know, banner ad on specific site, and there you go. When I'm running classifieds, I'll put question mark source equals, and then I'll put the initials of whatever website it is and the city. So when I get the lead, not only do I know, hey, they came from a paid classified ad, but they also came from Atlanta or Boise, Idaho. So I know exactly where they came from. That's important. And when I talk to them, I know exactly this person saw the ad. I know what they've seen. I know what they know. I know what not to say and what to say. So use that source code and you will be able to convert leads a little better. You can get the conversations going better. And most importantly, if you're using paid advertising, you want to know which ads are working. Because if you're getting 100 leads on $100 a day, you may find out you're running 10 ads and only one's pulling and the other 9 are worthless, and you could be getting 100 leads on just $10 if you got that source code letting you know. That's why it's important. You can really budget your investment on advertising this way. Now let's get into some active prospecting. This is the important part. We're going to go through this. This is the first video of training series, and when you first begin, you got to tell everybody. Like I said earlier, you got to tell everybody, and you remember to use those generic pages. And we've also learned to use the source code. It's going to help us. So I want to go through how to, this is offline. This is because in the beginning, you don't have any paid advertising. You don't have any content or videos to use. Those sources will take time. So how are you going to build a business in the meantime? Well, it's going to be through word of mouth. That's going to be your best bet. So let's talk about this. So you don't wind up like the guys on the left, and you start winding up like the guys over there on the right shaking hands, okay? It's really simple, and I'm going to teach you something you're going to be able to carry for the rest of your life in any business. Now, you meet prospect anywhere, okay? You need to be telling people, you remember the 3-foot rule, tell everybody within 3 feet. Yeah, that's true. But what a lot of network marketers do is they believe that everybody wants their product and everybody needs the product they have. And so everybody within 3 feet, they get told all this stuff they don't care about. Yeah, our product has this and that in it, and so said this, and we're going to be in another country next week, and you need to get in now, and you're going to make all this money, and there's yep, and this person doesn't care. Like, well, I just met you, man. You know, you're one of those people, right? So anyway, you do want to prospect everybody within 3 feet, but you don't want to do it that way. You got to switch remember, create curiosity, not resistance. If you yap like normal networkers, you're going to push them away, and then you're going to be like, well, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody shows up for the presentation. So I want to show you a different way of doing this. And it works like a charm. It'll get people showing up like crazy. Okay, so write this down. Watch it as many times as you need to. But you meet prospect anywhere, and we're going to use a let's say at the bank. Okay, you're outside the bank. You're walking out. Somehow you bump into somebody. For instance, you create the conversation. Maybe they create the conversation. You know, you look for something like you're leaving the bank, they're pulling up, and they have a specific car that you used to have when you was, you know, a teenager, and you're like, oh, hey, look, you know, the 240SX, that was my first car in high school. I remember having that. I loved it. And then they'll be like, oh, I love this car too, or maybe they hate it, I don't know. Either way, if you find something, you know, they're like, if they're wearing a specific team on their t-shirt, or, you know, you'll create a conversation. And if that conversation starts to go on, what you do is you want to create a BIC. That is a break in communication. All right. At this point, you have said nothing about the business. And this person has no clue you're a network marketer. You just met them. You know, you're talking about the 240 and the SX and how fast they are, which they're not that fast, but they went pretty fast. How good they looked back in the early 90s when they, you know, when I had them. And then all of a sudden you're going to create a BIC, which would be kind of like, oh, well, I'm sorry, Mary. I just remembered I have a conference call I got to get on in like 2 minutes. But, you know, I thought it's great talking about the 240. You know, you're creating a BIC. You got to go. Now, there's a reason for this. Why in the world do I create a reason to get out of a conversation? Because once you deliver the BIC, you're going to invite to the landing page I talk about. Invite them to take a look at the business. And the best way to do this is, all right, you know, oh, Mary, I just remembered I got a conference call to be back in 2 minutes. It was great talking with you. Love the 240. And, you know, just curious, are you, or do you know someone who may be open to making some extra money? And, you know, or you could say, just curious, do you know anyone who's open to a side project if it didn't interfere with what they do now? You know, there's a million things you could say, but that's the basic idea. Do you know anyone who's open to making extra money? And see, you want to say it like extra money because everybody's open to extra money, and you haven't said how to make the money. So now they're like, yeah, I can make some money. Tell me how. Right? And some of y'all already see where this is going. Yep. Prospect says, yep. What is it? You know, or tell me what it is. Yeah, I'm open. I'd like to make some money. What is it? This is where most network marketers go crazy. They hear, yeah, I'm open. And then they're like, oh my God, yes. Let me tell you, we're in 6 countries. You can make X amount of dollars per sale, blah, 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 blah. And then they start thinking, oh crap, that's that thing my cousin does. Yeah, I don't think my cousin drove me crazy with it. Yeah, I don't. So you don't want to go on and tell them anything. Remember, you got to be on a conference call. So when they ask what it is, remember, you got 2 minutes. I mean, that's the whole point. You're in a hurry, right? You got 2 minutes. You got to get out there and be like, look, ask for their information, their contact information, and promise to call them back. They'll most likely answer the phone. And from there, you've got it. You got them on the phone. You can get it by the computer, opt into the success line. You got it. That's what you're aiming to do to get them into the success line. So when they say, yeah, what is it? You simply say, well, I really got to run, but I tell you what I can do. If you give me your contact information, I promise you I will follow up with you tomorrow and explain everything and answer your questions. All right. So now you promise them. They are the beneficiary. I mean, or they're the ones that benefit from this, right? So they're like, oh, yeah, they promised to follow up with me and tell me they better. I want some extra money. So, you know, the odds of them showing up, I mean, and this isn't going to work 100% of the time. By any means, nothing does. But you will see that it works way better than just yapping. And what else? You didn't create questions you couldn't answer. You knew that one question was coming, what is it? But they didn't know you knew that they were going to ask that, but you did. So that's why you created the break in communication before you invited them. So when they asked what it was, you don't have to answer it, and you don't look spoofy. You know, you don't look like you're trying to cheat or anything. And the idea is not to say anything, to get them on the success line, let them watch the information, because what they see will be more impressive than a person trying to tell them. They'll get to see the pictures, and they'll get to see the other people opting in. They'll get offered with the people joining that want to join. So hopefully you understand this. You may have to practice it a couple times with some prospects, but always do that. And worst case scenario, they say, well, I don't really know you that well, and I don't give out my contact information. If they refuse to give it, say no problem, have a nice day, and go. Do not by any means try to be like, all right, I'll tell you. You know, that's the point. You don't want to tell them. And if you walk away, half of them will say, well, never mind, hold on, I'll give you my information. See, when you create curiosity, you create a whole new environment of people's reactions. A lot of network marketers are used to being rejected and told, no, yeah, I don't care, I'll get around to it when I can. But if you learn how to create curiosity, people start bugging you, like, hey, if you got that information over to my email yet? I mean, they will come to you, and it works. And start approaching it with this form. Look for problems and find people with problems. They'll be great product users. And if you meet somebody, and to be honest with you, you can do this is an opportunity-based way of doing it. If you do run across somebody and they look like they may have some pain issues, ask them, like, hey, you know, after you create the BIC, you know, that way they don't say, well, what is it? And you say CBD or whatever, you know, and not everybody's got the CBD yet, but it is in America. So anyway, watch this as many times, practice it, and you'll be surprised at how many people you can get signed up, because we're having a good success rate with signups right now. Now, if you want to contact your family and friends first, go for it. I know there's a lot of people that they don't want to mess with family and friends. I would highly recommend that you at least try kind of with the same concept as with prospects that you're, you know, strangers that you prospect or people you come across every so often. But, you know, if you have a problem, if they have a problem, the product helps, you can always say, hey, let me let you try something. Let them try it. And that's it. You don't have to continue to every day. Have you tried it yet? You tried it yet? Because remember, the more you don't need them, the more likely they are to join. The more they see that you're doing this without them, it will cause them to want to be in that position. You can get them into the success line before giving out any details. That's really important. If you got a friend or a family member, I would just, you know, call them up, say, hey, I got something I needed you to look at. I just got a minute. I'm on my way to something, or I'm about to hop on a call. I got something for you to look at. What time are you going to be home? Let them tell you, show up, put them in the success line yourself, right there in front of them. Say, fill this out, or I'll fill it out for you. What do you want me to put? Put them in there. And if they don't like it, they can opt out. You know them. That's the point. You know this person. That's why you can be a little different with people you know. You can kind of be forcey. Let the system do the work. Put them in the system. Let it work. And, of course, unless they contact you and ask for more information, or, hey, I got a question about this. Other than that, just put them in the system. Let them see it. And then, if they don't join, don't sweat it. Give it time. A lot of them probably will when they see, for instance, if you put them in the success line and it so happens to be in a side that I'm building as well, as I bring in new people, your family member or friend will get the email saying, hey, so-and-so's in, get in before Thursday, and they could start off with people I brought in under them right off the bat, and that helps you because it gets you a personal referral. So put them in the system. That's the whole idea. get people into that system, and it will produce results. So here we go, guys. One last thing to know. I don't want to be too long on these calls. I want to get them short. I want to give as much value as possible so you guys get a lot of good information. But if you use the source code when you call your leads, then you know where they came in from. That really helps. For instance, like I said, if I'm using a classified, and we're going to go through a classified training very soon on how to use these, how to make the calls, the scripts, all that. All right. So that's coming very soon. But if I'm using classifieds, blogs, videos, when I call them, I already know what they've seen. So I know kind of how to approach it, That's why I put a source code on everything. I did not in the beginning because I didn't look in under the advertising tab. And my first few leads were none, none, none. They all said the same thing. And then when I found the source code, I was like, I could be really doing a lot now. I know what to say to people right off the bat, because I know if they saw my blog, and that tells me too how good the lead is. Because if they come from a blog, they are way more likely to sign up than if they came from a paid ad. That's the ratio. So yeah, that's why you need a source code. Now, reaching out to prospects is important. If you get a lead and they put their phone number in there, okay, it says optional on the page. So if they put their phone number in there, most likely they don't care if you call. Really. Some ads, I can get 50% phone numbers, and I've even gotten higher than that before on some ads that I've used in paid advertising. So when you reach out to that person, it will increase the odds of them wanting to join. Because number one, some of them you wind up clicking with really good. You don't even know who they are. You call them, you and that person click, and they are signed up before you even get off the phone. They're joined. That'll happen sometimes. Many times, in many cases, they all say, well, I get hundreds of emails a day. They're getting all these emails every day. Our system's emailing them. Everybody else is sending emails. They've looked at hundreds of things. They're getting massive amounts of emails. They can't read them all. So when you call and reach out and they hear your voice and they know your name and they know the company you're with, well, your email will more likely get opened when they see it. Imagine that. Oh, I know this person. You open the emails of the people you know, and if you don't know them, you ignore them. So by just calling them will increase the odds of them signing up to the system as well, even if it's 2 to 4 months down the road, like what happens to me sometimes. You don't always get them on the first call. Doesn't matter. Just reaching out and talking to them will flip the numbers into your favor. The phone number is optional on the landing page, guys. So I want to share a little bit. I want to share a little script. If you like, well, when I call, what do I say? Well, you never know what you're going to have to say, but you do know what you can say in that very first opening. How the call goes from there is always, always different because everybody responds different. You can't write a script for a phone call without telling the other person to keep quiet. Because if they start asking questions that you don't have a script for, you're screwed up. So the phone number is optional. All right. So a lot of people won't put it in. So when I call a lead, what I say to them, like an example would be a Craigslist ad. Okay. They saw my ad on Craigslist. They opted in. They're in the success line. They're still active, and there's a phone number. I will call them. And when they answer and they say, hello, I'll ask for them, but not in the sense of asking a question. I'll say, hi, so-and-so, hi, Mary. Because nowadays, whoever's answering the phone is most likely who the phone belongs to. So it's kind of asking for them because you're, hi, Mary, because 1 in 50 isn't the right person. It's a landline phone or something. So when they confirm, yes, who is this? That's usually what they say. Yeah, who is this? Because they don't know you. They never heard from you. But it's no big deal. Because when they ask, who is this? And not all of them do. Some of them go off the bat and say hilarious things, but let's just say what the majority do. Yeah, who is this? Yeah, I would say, and I say it every time. My name is Jaye Carden, and I was reaching out to you because you were on a website of mine the other day, and you filled out a form, and the phone number was optional, and you gave me this particular phone number. So I was reaching out to see if you had a question or if you were expecting a call from me, and that's the reason I was reaching out. And then I just shut up and wait. And that's all you got to do. You remember, they put a phone number in an optional form. Tell them who you are. Tell them the reason you're calling is because they were on your website. They filled out a form and put this phone number in an optional form. So you weren't sure if she had questions or was wanting you to reach out. So you're reaching out to her out of courtesy, out of, you asked me to call, you know, and I have never got any rejection from that. A lot of them be like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, which website was yours? And then, you tell them. And of course, if you don't have a source code, you don't know where they came from. So if you have a source code, oh, it was this landing page or that landing page, and you can explain exactly which landing page they seen. This is the one with all the CBD and the hemp leaves in the back, and about the hemp oil. That's all you got to do, guys. And you can't, remember this, you cannot say the right thing to the wrong person. If that person is not going to sign up, there's nothing you can do to change that. If the person is the right person, you and that person will click. And I could call the same person. You could call a person and not get them signed up, and then I could call that same person, same opportunity, and sign them up. And same way, there could be people that they don't connect with me, but then you call them, and for some reason they like you and they sign up with you, but they wouldn't sign up with me. A lot of it is how the person likes you. If the person trusts you and likes you, and there's no better way to create that know, like, and trust than reaching out and calling. So, guys, that's what I'm saying. Call your leads, and it can be a little scary and nervous at first, but I promise you, if you just do 2 or 3 from the same source, like from whatever ad, you're going to knock it out, because then after 2 or 3, you're like, man, this is easy. This is really easy. And then next thing you know, you're calling 20, 30 a day. You're building a team. You never know who you're going to meet, and you never know who's going to join you. So call the leads, guys. It's really about just looking for the people you connect with, the people you want to work with. That's why you're calling them. Never approach a phone call as if you believe you have to get that lead signed up. Don't even worry about the lead signing up. Just call and see who they are, how they sound. Are they even a good prospect? Because if you don't like the you're like, this person sounds negative, or this person doesn't talk. I mean, they're yeah, no, they have no personality. Then I'll be like, hey, well, there's no problem. Then I do what they call gap them, which is grab a pen, GAP, gap them. All right, well, yeah, look, man, what I'll do is I want to shoot you over an email or grab a pen and go check this out. It's one of those, hey, if you join, you join. I got to call somebody else. I just don't think you're going to join. And if you do, you're not going to be any good. But there's always the chance you could be wrong. You could have reached them on a bad time or something like that. So you always send them somewhere, send them some information, and get off the phone and go to the next. Because every once in a while, most of the time you will be right. If you feel like somebody's not going to join, they're not. But every now and then, you're going to be wrong, and they will. And every now and then, some of the people you bring in are going to do really well that you thought wouldn't, and ones you thought won't. It's you never know. So never prejudge anybody, and do your best to help as many as you can. So we want to start wrapping this up, guys. It's starting to get late. I don't want to run these for more than an hour. So let's go over the overview real quick and what we learned today. I know it was a lot of information. This first one is going to be all the other from here on out. All the videos will be targeted to a one specific issue. But this being the first webinar, I wanted to go over basically the traditional network marketing, because anybody can do that. All right. The online version is going to take practice and time. And if you decide to go some of these strategies that you're going to be learning coming up in the future, well, some of them take time. So what can we do to start getting people in now? Well, that's talking to the people we meet and looking for people who have problems. You just got to start prospecting, start asking, hey, do you know somebody who has problems with pain, problems with sleeping? Start asking. You never know what it'll lead. When you start asking that, you'll be surprised at how many people sign up that same day that you just asked that question to. But it's not going to happen if you're not talking to people. And remember, raise curiosity. So start asking for people with issues that our products help. That has helped me get sales. Always, when you get someone who requests information, or if you're posting on social media, if you're tweeting it, if you're running an ad, doesn't matter, use the generic landing page. The less amount of, you don't want anything that's got company names and products and all that, because people get the wrong impression. So generic gets way more signups no matter what niche or topic it is, what industry it is. It always does better for generating leads. So hopefully you learn that, and down the road you can use that knowledge, right? So always send them to the generic, get them on the success line. Be sure that you put a source code. Remember, it's under the advertising link. Put a source code on every link you publish online. Even, I mean, you can do it like, if you really know the person, I mean, I get it. You don't have to use a source code. But when I'm talking to somebody like online, not necessarily in person, I'll put a source code in it, even if it's like a message. That way, because I'll forget who I talk to. I talk to so many people online every day on social media. We're messaging, I'm asking questions, looking for that answer for me to say, yeah, I mean, I think I got something that can help. You know what I mean? You got to be a consultant, not a salesman, a consultant. Think of that. You go to the doctor, you don't go in the doctor and the doctor, well, you go there because you're sick, and no matter what the doctor tells you, you do it, right? That's the way most people are. Doctor says you need this, and then you go and do it because he's kind of telling you what to do. You went to him to solve a problem. Think of yourself kind of like a consultant and not a car salesman. Car salesman, person walks out on the lot and they come out, hey, I want to look at this one and look at that one, like pick something, buy something, pick it. And a consultant, you go there and say, I have this problem. And then you listen to someone say, this is your solution. So if you approach it as in a consultant and you provide solutions to problems, your online sales and your network marketing business takes a total turnaround. But you have that source code. Sorry, I got a little off topic. I'll probably get worse on more of them. All right, make sure you invite people you meet and people you come across every day, and use those scripts I mentioned earlier. Remember, use that BIC, because if you don't and they say, what is it? And you forgot to use the BIC, you're like, oh crap. Now they're going to think I'm trying to not tell them. So now I don't look trustworthy. So use the BIC, and then, once they ask, yeah, what is it? And you look back at your watch, they're like, oh yeah, crap. He's in a hurry. Silly me. He just told me that. Shouldn't have asked that question. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then get their information and call your upline. If I'm your upline or whoever your upline is, call them and say, hey, I got this person's information. I've met them X, Y, and Z. They said they're open. Can you do a three-way? I mean, reach out for help if you're new. I'll be happy to help anybody. If you're seeing this webinar and you're on my team, I don't care if you're, 80 levels away, I'll do a 3-way with you. If that's what you need. I mean, I'll do anything I can to help. So, last thing, call anyone. Call anyone. When you get leads coming in, people you meet or online, social media, call anyone that gives their phone number. Don't put it off. Try to do it as quick as possible. You want to hit them while they're fresh, and you're going to make that call and remember to use the script. I told you it makes it really smooth. I mean, you can use your own if you want, but if you need one, I'd use mine. Let them know they put their phone number in an optional form. You're just being kind and calling. What do they want? I'm just calling because I didn't know if you wanted me to call. You put it in an optional form. What do you want? You don't say it like that, but you get the idea. It really breaks the ice, and a lot of them, usually the way they respond to that script is that's when you really know it's like, hey, this person is going to go all the way, or I'm not feeling so good about this person. So either way, use that script I mentioned earlier. And guys, I do appreciate y'all coming out. We're getting close to the end, and be sure, look, as more of these come out, I'm going to be posting them on my website, the replays. So you invite your team members to these training webinars, and it's going to help them. They can learn the scripts, how to call their leads. We will be creating trainings for, that focus all about calling leads. This one kind of hit a few topics, but you got to start. You got to start with prospecting people. You got to start telling everybody you meet. And if you do that and you're doing 10, 20 people a day, you will be blown away at the money you'll be making in just a couple of months. But most people, and I'll leave this, I'm going to get off here with this statistic. If you've stayed that long, then congratulations. Listen to this, and this will sum it up on why network marketing, so many people, don't hit the big bucks. And the reason is 80% of first sales happen on or around the 15th contact. Now, that can mean two things, really. One, usually to sell a product, you need to talk to about 15 people before you'll find the first one to say, hey, sounds good. All right. And also, it can mean that one person can look at something up to 15 times, or they're like, yeah, I think I want to do that. Okay. That's impulse buying. It can mean either way. Now, that's a lot of people, but if you shot for 10 to 20 a day, you would have a new customer every day, new affiliate every day. I see them almost every single day, sometimes multiple a day. Most network marketers, 80% of all network marketers will not speak to more than 3 people about their business. So if 80% won't even talk to 3, and believe me, it gets worse. Getting to 5 people, well, another 10% won't even get there. They'll get to about 5, And you're left with only about 3% of everybody that gets involved in network marketing actually every day doing the work. And that's why about 3% make millions of dollars or, 6-figure incomes. So you got to make a decision. Am I going to be the 3% that I'm going to do this every day? I want to ask anybody I meet, hey, you got know anybody with pain? Or you seem like a sharp guy, target professionals. Just start telling people and create curiosity and get them on that success line, and you will build a business. Guys, I want to leave you with that. I'll look forward to meeting you on next week's webinar. In the meantime, you can always reach out to me on my website, jayecarden.com, if you've got a question or want to reach out to me. So I look forward to hearing back from everybody. This webinar is over, and I'll see you on the next one. Catch you guys later.